everyone. I've got a few ideas for the ATCs that I cut out from this page here. This was the beginning of this Art Journal prompts page, and if you remember, if you've seen this video, I stopped partway through because I just absolutely loved the texture that I had here and decided that I would have the page printed on mixed media paper so that I could continue stamping over it and use this for ATCs. Now that turned out to be the right thing to do. That was the finished page, and there was also this one here as well. Just absolutely love how that turned out. Now here's the page cut into ATCs. This is just a photocopy of it. And this would have just been far too textured for me to have been able to stamp on. But I just wish that you could see this on camera. The texture on these is just absolutely amazing. I just absolutely love how these have turned out. I mean, the thickness is just wonderful. These, you know, considering that they're just done on mixed media paper, these are incredibly stable. So that's the whole piece. And then these are the individual ATCs. Let me just see if I can get them lined up for you to see. There we go. And so I've got an idea. So I'm going to put these away and grab some bits and bobs. Piece of A5 mixed media paper here. Let me just measure it because I know that measurements in the States are different to what we have here in the UK. This is just under 8 by 6 inches, and I've got a few of the leftover pieces of the ends of the spiral bound note paper that I used to originally create the page, and a few more as well that I've accumulated since. And I've got some heavy bodied gel, extra heavy gel, and I'm just going to glue these down over the page, and as soon as I've done that I'll come back. I started this off and I just want you to see what I'm doing. I'm just grabbing some heavy gel. You do need quite a thick glue for this, otherwise it just won't stick very well, and I'm just using up all the leftover scraps, and whoops-a-daisy, I'm just gluing it down piecemeal. It's not even going on straight, but that's fine, it really doesn't matter. I've got a thinner piece here and I'm fine with that. Let's just add that on like so, and what should we add now? Have I got, here we go, another smaller piece. So I'm going to add that. And this is what I'm doing. I'm just sort of working down. I'm adding some gel over the top as well, just to make sure that it's adhered properly. I can add a whole piece there and some gel over the top. And I'm just continuing like this until the whole of this page is filled. Now, it's all my pieces are glued down, and I've given it a quick dry with my heat gun, and it's dry enough now for me to add a coat of gesso. So I've got my big tub of gesso here. I'm really liking the De La Rani Graduate acrylic graduate gesso, and I'm just going to add a layer of this right over the top of the whole of this page, and then I'll give this a dry and we can add some paint. Make sure when you're using gesso on your paintbrushes that you go and wash them straight away, because otherwise they'll just be ruined. Gesso's dry, well, dry enough for me to work on, and I've put some of the dilutions in orange and pink on a piece of tracing paper just here, and I'm going to give this a coat of paint. I'm just going to use my finger, and I'm just going to put it randomly because I want a mix of the two different colours. I haven't quite got enough pink, so let me just dip my finger into the jar like this. And then I'm going to add some of the orange as well. Let me just wipe my finger a second, and we'll, on my camera just about, and then we'll add some of the orange. Oh, I'm sure I just heard Louis meowing outside. We could end up with a painty cat in a minute. So rub this in, blending in some of the places. There we go. I really like that. So now I'm going to give that a dry. You can see I'm cutting out various sizes of hearts, and I've just got a cheap piece of regular upcycled, recycled cardstock, and I'm just freehand cutting hearts, and I want to do some smaller ones now. So I've just folded the piece of paper in half so that I get a nice symmetrical heart, and my aim is now to try and do some smaller ones. There we go. So what I shall do is I shall draw around these on the back side of this piece of paper and then cut them out. And you can see that out of this one piece of A5 piece of paper, I've got all of these heart embellishments, which is more than enough for embellishments for my ATC. So I'm going to cut these out and then I'll come back. I've cut out all of my hearts, and I don't know, there's just something about these that the texture just isn't quite what I was after. So I've tried sponging over, just lightly dabbing with a sponge, and that's it. That's absolutely perfect, and I can pick up the squares and the pink underneath, and so that's what I'm going to do. I've put some pink and some orange on my palette here. Let's just try going over one of the ones with more orange on with the pink and see what happens. And I'm really touching lightly with this. All of these hearts have had a layer of the pink put over the top of them so that they blend much better, but still I just wasn't happy with it. So I decided to add a little bit of the sky blue light, and that has just made all the difference to me. And so I'm going to do the same with all of these, and I'm just going to show you what I'm doing. I'm just really lightly going over this with some of the sky blue light, just to introduce some of that colour, and maybe, you know, I could tap some on the other side as well, just a little bit around the outside, and that's what I'm going to do with all of them. I'm getting there, guys. Right, I've tried it with a little bit of titanium white as well. Still wasn't quite happy with the way that it looked, and thought, right, let's try it on one and see what happens if we add a little bit of white. And yeah, I just love that. So I'm going to carry on doing that with all of these. It just adds a really nice bit of brightness. Just look at that. I just want to show you what I'm doing. Let me just hold this up close. Can you see all the bumpy texture on this? I'm holding my heat gun really close as I dry the paint, and just watch. You see it's bubbling, and it's where the paint is dry underneath and it's starting to blister. And you know, you've seen me do this before. I just love that texture. I just think that just adds so much to this. It's literally burning the paint, but not to the point where it turns it black. But just look, how much fun is that? Now I want to just show you what I'm doing here. I'm just adding another layer of darker ink. This is the Stays On in Midnight Blue. So this one here has already had some of the Distress Oxide in Faded Jeans. And just look at the difference. And this one here hasn't had anything at all. So does it make a difference when you ink around the edges? I say this every time, but yes, it does. And just one final thing I'm doing. I'm just concentrating. Look at the difference between these two here. I'm going round again and I'm concentrating on adding a thicker layer just in this top part of the heart here and in the bottom. And it just adds some shading. And look at the difference, and let me show you. So adding it in a thicker layer in this top part of the heart. And I'm just so happy with those. I've chosen the hearts for each of the ATCs, and in fact actually I've chosen most of the smaller ones purely because I think that the larger ones just take up too much of the gorgeous background. Having said that, now I just really like the large one there. I don't know, I'm going to have a play around with this. Oh, let me have a look. No, definitely the smaller one there. So I'm going to play around with placement of these, and then I'm going to glue them down with some glossy accents, and then I need to ink around the edges as well. And here they are, my finished ATCs. I'm thrilled to bits with how these have turned out. I just think they're gorgeous. I can't stop looking at them. I've added some of the Tim Holtz Chit Chat words and inked around the edges using the Stays On Midnight Blue. Then I've inked around the edges of the ATCs as well. I went over in Faded Jeans first of all, and then Stays On Midnight Blue for a second coat. The heart and the Chit Chat words have been glued down with glossy accents. I just find that that's the best method for this type of thing. And then I always get asked, what do I do to tidy up the messy backs? Well, to be honest, you can still see all the layers of gesso and, you know, paint splatters and what have you that I've picked up from the drop paper underneath. But I've added a layer of the Dylusions squeezed orange, and I applied it using a damp baby wipe, and that just tidies everything up. So, you know, you can see that that's what they like. I mean, that one's particularly bad, but you see, that to me just shows that they're homemade. I don't mind that at all, but I do think it's better when you add a solid colour. And so that's it. There they are. And I should just write on the back. I've used in the past these printable ATC backs, but to be honest, I don't like them. All I'm going to do is sign it, date it, and put the fact that this was one of 6, or, you know, 3 of 6, whatever. And I'm sure that somebody's going to ask, what do you do with them? Well, I've got these. I know who these are going to be sent to. There's various bits and pieces of Happy Mail that I want to send out, and so these will be going off there. I shall keep one as a memory for myself, and I'll definitely be doing this again. I've got a stack of the hearts left over. Just absolutely love these, and I've got an idea as to what I'm going to use these for, but I would definitely do the spiral bound edges to make embellishments again. These are just so nice and sturdy. Love these. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. I'll leave the link to the Art Journal page, Art Journal prompts page, where I created the background for these, just in case, you know, anybody hasn't seen that video. And I always say this, I'd really appreciate it if you would give me a thumbs up if you like this, because it really does just let YouTube know that you like what I'm doing. And let me know what you think in the comments below, and take care everyone. I'll see you all again soon. Bye for now.